I didn't have a website, I didn't post on social media, and I definitely didn't cold call. But I still landed my first 3 clients when I launched my bookkeeping business without chasing anyone or sounding desperate. One of them, my current employer at the time, where I was still working as a corporate CFO. Another, a consulting firm I hadn't worked with in years. And you may be asking, what worked with them? A really simple 1-page plan and a meeting with my employer at the time, and a genuine email with the other. No pitch, just value. And in this video, I'm sharing exactly what I did and how you can do the same. Hey there, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Veronica Sagastumi, and this is the Bookkeeping Shop. I help bookkeepers and professionals build a flexible, profitable businesses they actually enjoy running, whether you decide to work from home in an actual office that you rent out or on the go. After more than a 20-year career in accounting, I left my corporate CFO position to build my own bookkeeping and accounting business from scratch. It started as only me, a party of one type of gig, and eventually I grew it into a team. Now I'm here helping others do the same with strategies that actually work. Now let me take you back to 2010. I know, way back, right? At the time, I was wrapping up a 7-year position as a CFO at a financial services company in San Francisco. I literally was just up the street from Union Square, close to Chinatown in the financial district. I commuted there every single day. I can't believe I used to do that, drive in 45, 50 minutes when on a good day. But I did have a parking spot, and those parking spots in San Francisco were heavily coveted. But anyway, I was wrapping that up because I was recruited by an insurance brokerage firm. It was close to home, so that commute was going out the window. The role was comparable. It was like a lateral move, but the compensation package was a little bit better. The benefits were better. They were an insurance brokerage firm after all. And I was excited to be in a new type of industry. I was moving away from financial services into insurance, but it was just an exciting time to be with a new team. But it wasn't long before I started to get that feeling that I had been getting for quite a few years up to then, but it came back. I thought that the excitement of a new position would sort of push that other feeling away, but it didn't. On paper, my new position was perfect, but almost immediately, I started to feel that tug. That little voice that you try to ignore and push down. For me, it was that nagging feeling of like, I think this may be the right time to do my own thing. But I was feeling conflicted because I just left a 7-year position with this other company and started something new. And I felt like I needed to give it time, or that I made a commitment, all those guilty feelings that come along with when you make a decision and you make a commitment. But I couldn't get rid of that little voice that kept whispering to me, I think it's time for something different. And so I went into the holiday season at the end of 2010, and I really gave it some thought. We had some time off from work, and as we brought in 2011, I made the decision. It was time to bet on myself. I knew that I didn't want to cold call or pitch to strangers. I wasn't on social media at all at that time. And really, the social media that exists today in 2025 did not exist in 2010. And the most that I did was scroll on LinkedIn every now and then to read articles or to see what my colleagues or ex-colleagues had posted recently. Aside from that, no social media. So I asked myself, who already knows me, trusts my work, that may actually need my help with my skill set and my reputation? The answer, my current employer, the one I had just started working for less than 6 months ago. So I drafted a transition plan. I knew that I was going to have to call a meeting with him, and I wanted to prepare. I focused on the benefits and the value of this type of transition that I was basically recommending, proposing. And so my 1-pager really consisted of a draft for myself to be able to have talking points. And ultimately, I did fine-tune it a little bit so that I could hand it to him during the meeting and leave it with him after the meeting so that he could think about it. I was fully prepared for him to not take it well, because essentially what I was doing was resigning, but also proposing how I could transition from a full-time executive with the salary, the compensation package, and all the benefits that come along with being a full-time employee, to being a part-time consultant. I highlighted how I would help them during the search and recruitment of a new CFO to to replace me and that I would help to onboard that person so that the company would be covered and not skip a beat. I let them know that I would stay on as a part-time consultant with whatever hours worked for him, but I proposed that I would come in Monday through Friday, at least 4 hours a day, so that everything would continue to be covered and that the department would not suffer, that they would not feel neglected or like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do until we find somebody? And essentially, I would keep the accounting and finance department running smoothly during this transition time. And I also proposed that I not start any other projects or attend any of the regular meetings that were scheduled in this new role because we wanted to make sure that we made the most out of those part-time hours that I was committing to. And ultimately, they would save money by transitioning me from, as I mentioned, from a full-time executive salary with benefit to a part-time consultant. Yes, I also had a nice little breakdown of what the hourly rate would be, the minimum hours. I had thought of all the things that he may ask, and I just kind of put it in that one pager. Then came the hard time, scheduling the meeting with the chief executive officer, basically the president of the company. When I presented the plan, my CEO was surprised, for sure, but he appreciated the thought that I put into this transition plan, and ultimately, he said yes. By the end of February 2011, I transitioned from a full-time CFO to a part-time consultant. And just like that, I landed my first paying client. That one client gave me the income and the time to start laying the foundation for my business on my own terms. So let's break this down into a strategy. The first strategy, convert your current employer into your first client. Most people think they have to quit cold turkey and figure things out. But sometimes your current job becomes or can become your first client if you approach it with a plan. Here's what worked for me, and maybe it'll work for you. I made it about them, not me. I emphasized continuity, cost savings, ongoing support. Not necessarily in that order, but that's what I focused on, not an ultimatum. No threats were involved. So I want you to ask yourself, could I offer support as a part-time contractor after I leave? Could you pitch a win-win like I did? This can be one of the smoothest ways that you can land your first paying client and buy yourself some time to build the rest of your business. Let's move on to strategy number 2, reaching out to previous employers. These are people who already know your value. And if you left on good terms, there's often trust already built in. I reached out to a company that I have worked for many years ago, and I simply let them know that I had recently launched my very own virtual, that was important to me, a virtual bookkeeping consulting type of business. I wasn't pushy. I didn't pitch. I just let them know that I was available if they ever needed help and to keep me in mind. I listed out some bullet points of the type of support that I could offer them. That way, I wanted to do some of the legwork for them. I didn't need them to start thinking about, well, what could she help us with? I was helping them to help me. And below the bullet points where I offer that support, I also listed out systems and tech that I considered myself an expert in. Again, giving them a visual as to what type of support I could give them and what kind of systems and software that I was already familiar with in case it was in alignment with them. And a few months later, they did reach out to me to have me help them with a project. Initially, that project had a start and end date, especially since there were milestones involved. But ultimately, that led into monthly recurring work. So client number 2 came within a few months while I was still working for client number 1. This isn't about you asking for your old job back. We're not doing that. It's about you offering your help from a fresh perspective, your own business. Are you starting to get the picture? Do you see the opportunity? All right, moving on to strategy number 3. Reaching out to your extended professional network. What the heck does that mean? I want you to think about people, consultants, businesses that you have done business with in the past, in these other past employments, or even in your personal life, your tax preparer, people like that, auditors, vendors, consultants, IT support, law firms, marketing departments, recruiters, HR, payroll representatives, banking contacts, just to name a few. These are people who already know how you work. They know your style. Maybe there's already like a good connection, a good camaraderie, and likely trust you. One of my earliest clients came from this exact strategy. I sent a personal non-pitchy email just to connect and say hello first. Then that email turned into a little bit of a back and forth email conversation, which then turned into, what are you up to these days? And I let them know. I took the same approach as in strategy number 2. I let them know, hey, I started my own accounting and bookkeeping business. I am doing mostly remotely, but I knew that this particular client was close to me, so I did offer that I could also come on site and support in person. I gave the same list of bullet points of the type of support that I could offer, the tech stack that I was familiar with, both software and technical systems. They were an IT firm that I had met years ago at another company where I worked at, and they provided the IT support. And so I had a direct contact, and we already had a good relationship, good rapport, a lot of trust, and a lot of camaraderie. And yeah, so I reached out to him. And again, I made it all about focusing on the personal contact first. How are you? How's the business going? That led into a little bit of catching up. And then that led into me letting them know that I had started my own business. And so those email exchanges took, I think it was maybe over 2 to 3 weeks span of time. And that led into a cleanup and catch up type of project, but also it led into me helping his existing accounting department to not only clean up and catch up, but to start to put better processes in place to streamline, automate, and have repeatable processes. And so I also did train his staff a bit. I think they were my client for about a year, maybe a little bit longer, because the idea was to help them to get caught up, train them to have some best practices in place and to handle growth. And once my job was done, I was an on-call type of person. So as they needed more help with training, or they were bringing on a new system or implementing a new process, I was on call. I loved having that kind of variety in that client as well. But that was client number 3, and that came directly from my list of people that I made. Well, who do I know from those past employers? What I want you to focus on here is that there are a lot of different ways that you can get a client. If you're starting to find a little bit of resistance and you're like, well, I can't talk to my current employer, it's not a good fit. Okay, is the other one a good fit? Can you look at your ex-employers? If you find that you're having a lot of resistance to any of these 3 ways that I just shared with you, I want you to just kind of challenge yourself as to why is it that you're resisting this? Are you getting in your own way without even having tried it? Without even having, put the time into developing a little bit of a direct outreach strategy and sitting down and looking at your ex-employers or who did you know at these other jobs? Are you resisting this? And if you are, why? I just want you to do that self-assessment. Why are you resisting it without even giving it a chance? You don't have to do any of them. Maybe you do your own version or your own hybrid of 1 or 2 of these, okay? I'm just giving you what's worked for me. This is just 3 examples of what have worked for me, that I tried a lot of other things that also worked, and I tried some things that didn't work. That's for another day. Now, if you're wondering what to say in those emails, that you could also convert into maybe a direct message or a text message, or you could even modify it into how you would have a phone call, I've got you. I have a free resource that for years I've been calling Nurture Your Network, NYN. But I'm going to be rebranding it to Contacts to Clients, because that's really what it is. It is about converting people that you know that are in your contacts into paying clients. It includes 6 customizable email templates. As I said, you could take that same sort of framework and convert it into a direct message or a text message or an actual phone call script. My exact structure for how to do direct outreach, depending on the type of relationship that you have with that contact or which email you're sending at what time. A way to reconnect without feeling salesy. It's free and it's linked in the description below. By the way, when you sign up for that free resource, you will be given a login into the portal where I host that. And there will be follow-up emails with a lot more tips and strategies that you can adopt and implement and make your own. So grab it, okay? It's free. And hey, if you're finding this video helpful so far, go ahead and give it a like or hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss the rest of my series that I'm calling Booked and Brave series. This is part 1. Let's recap the 3 strategies that helped me land my first 3 clients, and hopefully it will help you. Number 1, converted my current employer into my first paying consulting client with a win-win transition plan. Number 2, reached out to ex-employers who already knew my work and my reputation. Number 3, reconnected with past business contacts who trusted me from earlier roles. No cold calls, no social media, just smart, genuine, direct outreach, and it worked. Now, I want to say something important to you. These strategies didn't just work for me back in 2011. They have continued to work for my private clients, bookkeepers that I've coached in the past, and for those folks who have grabbed my free resource, Contacts to Clients, formerly known as Nurture Your Network. I get messages and feedback from folks who have used these exact templates. I'll pop a screenshot right here of one of the survey responses that I received recently, and you can see for yourself. It's a little bit long, so you can feel free to pause or grab a screenshot so you can see for yourself. And landed their first or next client, some within days. The truth is, these strategies work if you commit, if you show up, and if you follow through. You don't need fancy funnels. You don't need the website and the social media and all those other things. You just need to show up, and you need to follow through and follow up. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these strategies will you try? Let me know in the comments below. I read and reply to every single one. It may take me a while. I do have a couple of businesses to run, so please be patient, but let me know in the comments and I will get back to you. And don't forget, if you want the exact email templates that I used, you can download Contacts to Clients, formerly known as Nurture Your Network, using the link in the description of this video. Whether you're just getting started or picking things back up again, the resource will help you take action confidently. This was just episode 1 in my Booked and Brave video series, so be sure to check out the full playlist. And if you're wondering what comes next after landing your first few clients, that is exactly what we're talking about in the next video in this series. I'll be talking about how you can create your first simple, clear service offer, even if you're just getting started. Because once someone says, yes, I'm interested, the last thing that I want for you is to freeze and fumble. So I'm going to show you how to confidently present your offer, explain your value, and avoid overthinking what to include in that offer. If the next video hasn't dropped yet and you don't see it on your screen, don't panic. It's in the works. I've got you. So be sure to subscribe, hit that bell reminder, and you'll be the first to know when it goes live. It's the next step in your journey, and I'll be right here with you every step of the way. Thanks so much for watching. I'm rooting for you. I'm Veronica of the Bookkeeping Shop. Until next time, bye for now.